Welcome to Wall Street Mojo. To know about this video now function in Excel, watch the video till the end. And also, if you're new to this channel, then you can subscribe us by clicking the bell icon that's given below. Let's begin with today's topic. This is basically now function. What we are going to study today is basically a date and time function in Excel. Now, what is date and time function? As you can see, when you go to the formula, you get a date and time tab. And when you press that, you have so many other options that is available to you. Let's begin on this particular topic. Now, remember one thing that this function in Excel is categorized as a date and a time function that returns the current system date and time. So now Excel function in the date and time category enables us to analyze and work with the date and time values in the formulas. So if we just press now over here, it says returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. So if I just press now, you will get something like this. Just press tab. So it's just a bracket. So now function in Excel does not take any argument. Now the value returned by now Excel function is a serial number by representing a particular date or in time in Excel. Now function in Excel is also it also belongs to a special class of functions that's called volatile functions. And now functions in Excel recalculates a volatile function wherever it recalculates the work. So even if the formula that contains the function is not involved in the recalculation. The now Excel function represents an example of a volatile function because of now that has been used here. And Excel recalculates the current date and time every time the Excel calculates the worksheet. Now, other volatile functions, it includes like you have cell function, you have indirect function, you have info, you have today function, you have offset function, then you have rand function, and so on and so forth. So as a side effect of using this kind of volatile function, now function Excel always prompts you to save the workbook, and when you close it. So even if you have made no changes for it. For now, function Excel example, if you open a workbook that contains any of these volatile functions, scroll around a bit, but don't change anything. And then close the Excel file. Excel asks whether you want to save the workbook or not. So you can circumvent this behavior by using the manual recalculation mode with the recalculate before save option turned off. So change the recalculation mode in the calculate and calculate the section of the formula tab in the now function, and Excel options dialog box saying choose file is an option. So now Excel function is updated whenever the worksheet is calculated. Like for example, if you enter either of the preceding formulas into worksheet, the formula of now function in Excel displays always the current date and time. Now when you open the workbook tomorrow, though this noun function in Excel will display the current date and time for that day and that particular time. If we save the workbook containing now function Excel and open it after 5 days is equal to now, Excel will automatically show the current date of that day and the time of that particular instant of that time without any changes to the formula. Now, displaying the current time is basically, now formula in Excel displays the current time as a time serial number for a serial number without an associated date. So you will say is equal to now, bracket, less today, and bracket. So if you want the static time in Excel, since the now in Excel dynamically changes the date and time value whenever worksheet is refreshed, and we can use a shortcut, Control Shift Plus. So to enter the current date and time. Okay, we'll take an example here to understand this in a detailed format. Now over here, the United States is divided into various time zones depending upon the geographical dimensions or demographics. The main time zones are Eastern Time, Eastern Standard Time, the Central Standard Time, the Mountain Standard Time, and the Pacific Standard Time Zone. In Cell, we have the current time in IST zone represented using the now formula in Excel. The now formula in Excel with the format as time, we need to write now over here, sing NOW, open the bracket, And the formula in the Excel to convert the IST into 4 time zones. You have different time zones here. And once you have opened the formula, you can start writing the details. Okay, so just close the bracket. So it will show us that it's 2:40 right now. Okay, so this is, and the date also it shows. So we now need to write now formula in Excel to convert this IST. Now for EST, over here, the next one, Indian Standard Time is 9 hours and 30 minutes ahead of Eastern Time. So use the now function is equal to now, and you need to say that from that IST deduct time of 9 hours and 30 minutes and 0 seconds. So you'll get an Eastern Time here. Now once you do that, for CST, the Indian Standard Time is 10 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the Central Time. So use the formula saying is equal to now, close the bracket, less time, R is 10, then 30 and 0, close the bracket. Now for MST, Indian Standard Time is 11 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the Mountain Time. So use the following now formula in Excel. So is equal to now, close the bracket, less time, you can use 11, 30 and 0 seconds. And the same goes with the last part. Indian Standard Time is closely around 12 hours and 30 minutes ahead of Pacific Time. So use the following now function formula, saying is equal to now, close the bracket, and you'll say deduct time here, 12, 30, 0, close the bracket. So this is how the now function is basically used. Now we have used the time function along with the now function in Excel, but that helps to convert the hours, minutes and seconds given as the number to an Excel serial number that is formatted with the time format. So for the formatting, in all the cases we have used time as the format. Example number 2. Now we have a list of festivals and their upcoming date of occasions. We need to find the number of days left for the occasion, this number of days. So the now formula in Excel, we will use it something like this. We'll use an int function which rounds up down to the nearest integer, saying this B3, the date on the occasion, less the now today. So I want the date on the date of the occasion minus today, plus I'll open the bracket. I'll use the mod function which returns the remainder after the number is divided by the divisor. So that I'll use the date of the occasion less again the now function, close it, comma, the divisor is going to be 24, divide by 24, bracket close, and that is you calculate the numbers here. This is 2018, so it is showing as minus 151 days from today. So that is, we will calculate the difference of the date, that will add the remainder, divide by 24 to get a day, and it will convert into integer value using the int functions. So applying now formula in Excel to other cells, we will have the output. Let's say instead of here, just change everything to 2019, so automatically things will change. Control D. Okay, so instead of this here, just change to 19. This is already 19. Now change, and you will get different answers over here based on the current date. Now function can also be used in other different format also, something like this. Let's say if a car starts from point A here with a speed of 5 meters per second and travels to a distance of, let's say, 10 kilometers to reach a destination at B when the driver starts his journey at the current time. The speed is 5 seconds. The distance is 10,000 kilometers. So what's the current time the driver reaches B? So we know that speed is equal to distance and time. So we have speed and distance. So the time to reach, in seconds, point B will be distance and speed. So the time when the driver reaches point will be given by the now formula in Excel. So over here we'll say is equal to now, close the bracket. You'll start with the time function. We'll say 0 hour, 0 minute, and for seconds we will say b4, that is the distance, divide by the speed at which you are traveling. Close the bracket, close another bracket, and you'll say where the value b4 divided by b3 calculates the time taken in seconds to reach point B and pass this, so is equal to now Excel value as seconds to the time function. So the output is now function in Excel. So the vehicle will reach to point B at time of 3:19 and 52 p.m. when it starts at a current time. So things to remember, just change this to 6 meters per second, 7 meters per second, 10 meters per second. So in that way your time will keep changing. Let's write 100. So it's like within 1 minute you will reach if you are traveling at this speed. So what are the things to be remembered about now function? See, now is in Excel, which is a volatile function and will update every time when recalculation is done. See, as now in Excel is basically, you can say, a volatile function, okay, and is equal to now Excel can affect on the processing speed on your calculation. So now when Excel enters a valid series, it enters the what we call as a valid serial number of current date and time as per the Excel date and time system. So when you enter now function in a cell, it will convert the format of the cell into custom format DD, YY and HM. Now to center a static current date and time, you can use a keyboard shortcut like you can use Control Shift plus, or you can use the Control Time and Control plus. So if you have loved and enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and for all the latest update. Thank you everyone for joining the session. Cheers.